We've arrived at your yard, Robo-Ready Work Facility.
Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to Robo Recall. This is an exclusive game for the Oculus Rift made by Epic Games. And as you may expect, it relies heavily on the touch controllers. In fact, they're essential, you can't play the game without it. Robo Recall is actually given away for free with the touch controllers, but you can purchase separately for $22.99. Now this video, as well as the entire VR series I'm currently working on, have been made possible thanks to Oculus sending over the Rift and the touch controllers. So what is Robo Recall all about? Well, your job is a Robo Recall technician, and what that means is you have to go out into the public, out into the cities, and recall robots that have gone wacky and on the loose. The tutorial here, which is very brief, does walk you through a bit of how to do that, and sometimes it does indeed involve pulling apart some of the robots here. And when you first get into this office here, you really do get a great impression for the sense of scale. The robots themselves are 7 to 8 foot tall for the most part, so they can be a little intimidating, but thankfully you're a pretty powerful individual yourselves. In terms of weapons, you start out with a set of pistols here, and they can be upgraded over the course of the game. Fortunately though, they are pretty powerful. Now what happened there is I actually dropped them. I was trying to place them in my holsters again, but there's actually a neat little trick to Robo Recall. When you run out of bullets, you don't actually reload your weapons, you simply toss them aside and drop them on the floor. New weapons then spawn into your holsters and you can draw these. Now keep in mind, Robo Recall is very much an arcade game and it doesn't try and hide that fact. And that indeed comes across in the way that the weapons function. For example, you don't need to be 100% accurate in the way you fire them, and the fact that they all have tracer fire helps you aim towards your target that much easier. So it's all about very rapid combat. In fact, the arcade feel of the game extends into pretty much everything. Right here you can see the scoreboard. That is actually not visible in the game. That's purely visible on the monitor for other people to see, and it's present when I capture that footage. Now I found the aesthetics of the entire game to be reminiscent very much of a souped up 90s arcade game. And that's reflected in both the visual style here as well as the music as well. So certainly don't come in here expecting a highbrow shooter, because it is far from that. But that is actually a very good thing because it maintains a very rapid pace and that makes it extremely fun. The game is certainly not lacking in humour either. From the rather sarcastic control operative to the meme spewing antagonist. Occasionally though, the game tries a little bit too hard to try and be funny and ends up missing the point. But for the most part, it certainly does hit the mark very well, and more than once gave me a good chuckle. Now throughout the game you can carry 4 weapons, and that's 2 in your holsters and 2 further weapons on your back. In the case here, I've got 2 shotguns over my shoulders, and you can just reach back over your shoulder, as you saw I did just now, to actually retrieve these. Shotguns themselves are pretty darn powerful, and well, they'll blow your opponents away pretty darn quickly. That said, there are opponents in the game that are that much more difficult, especially those that come with shields or can move very quickly. That said, you don't have to rely on your weapons to destroy your targets. You can pick them up, you can pull them apart, you can throw them at each other, and you can even throw other objects at them. In fact, pretty much anything goes, and all of this really does add to the charm of the game. Now as you progress through your missions, you will be confronted with various scenarios. Some of them you have to make your way down the streets and confront the various opponents. On other occasions you face situations like this where you have to destroy a set number of robots within a certain time frame. There are also defense objectives, and there's another nice little scenario where you've got to chuck the robots into a blue vortex, get them sucked up into an airship. Opponents come in various shapes and sizes, from the little spider bots that you can see off to the side there. These jump at you and they explode on contact, but you can actually catch them, and well, they actually exploded there and caused some damage. But if you do catch them, you can throw them at another target. From time to time you'll come across huge mechs, and these, when you successfully cripple them, you can jump on their back and take control of them using their massive weapons and arms to destroy everything around you. But of course the star of the show is the main antagonist themselves. This here is Odin, and yes, he's full of memes as you just heard, and he has a rather nefarious Dr. Evil level plan to take control of the internet. Now you will encounter this opponent numerous times throughout the game. He's basically there at the end of each major stage, and each time he comes back more powerful than ever.
OMG, such robots, much
Now, one thing that's actually really interesting about the current crop of virtuality games, especially the shooters, is that they've reverted back to older style of game development, gone are all the forced and shoehorned RPG elements that you find in pretty much everything, and we find ourselves with a return to pure arcade action. Now, this is both a very good thing, but it's also quite a limiting factor as well, because no matter how far you get through the game, you'll be using the same skill set that you develop right at the start of the game. Nonetheless, Epic Games have seen fit to include weapon unlocks, and these come in the form of enhancements that you can add on to your various weapons. And this is where VR really does come into its own yet again, rather than relying on menus and pure interfaces. And instead, look here, I can actually interact with the various components on the screen and attach them to my weapon. And now this is applicable to all weapon types, from the pistol to the revolver to the shotgun to the energy weapon. So then, what is Robo Recall like as a standalone purchase? Well, it's available on the Oculus Store for around £23 British. And yep, that's fairly expensive, but it is an action-packed and fun game. Yet you will find that it's all over far too soon, and within a matter of hours you'll find yourself standing there staring at the credits. Personally then, as a paid game, I think it's far too short and could perhaps do with a bit more variety. As a free included game though, with the touch controllers, it really is a rather nice game. And it does a wonderful job of introducing you to the touch controllers themselves. Not to mention, it's a very nice demonstration of room scale technology, and is also extremely visually impressive. I think there's a good amount of room here for replay value, although like I say, you'll get through the game quite quick. There is the scoreboard here, and if you're the type of person to chase a leaderboard, then you're going to be in for a very good time. Bottom line then, Robo Recall really does make a very good case as to why room scale games can be not only highly immersive, but also a great deal of fun. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.